My auntie then told me where I was supposed to wait for her, because she said that she was out of town, but she was going to come and pick me up as she will be going to her house. So I waited for her, Brother Nashi. When she came, she then picked me up and we went to her house, which is here in Borodale. When I arrived at her place, Brother Nashi, I then saw that finally I had made it in life, because it was quite a very peaceful neighborhood and a very beautiful one. So that was how I started staying with my auntie. And when my parents tried to get into communication with me, I told them that this was the best opportunity that God had given to me, and I was not going to throw it away. It hurts me a lot, my brother, because when I took this decision, there was a lot of disunity that happened in the family. And even right now, there is a lot of disunity that is happening in the family. After the death of my auntie, she then left some ritualistic charms, the ones that she taught me how to use. So what happens now in the family is that there are some people in our family that knows about this secret, and those ones that know about these secrets, they are the ones that I help in life. Then there are some of my poor relatives. It doesn't matter even if they try to run to South Africa to look for any kind of work opportunity or a better life. The spirit that is on these charms, Brother Nashi, it is going to follow the bloodline. No matter where you go, that spirit will always follow you. So when I started staying with my auntie, I think that the charms that she had, they were about to expire. So a new sacrifice was needed, and it seemed as if I was the one who was supposed to be used for those sacrifices. Not like I was supposed to die, but I was the one who was supposed to assist her. And unfortunately, we did a lot of terrible stuff. Some of them I am even ashamed to tell you the things that we did. When I was now staying with my auntie, after my parents had disowned me, I felt as if my auntie was now my only parent, and she was the only relative that I could run to. Occasionally, there were some of our few relatives that used to visit our auntie, and they will be wanting to get a little bit of money from our auntie. But the money that our auntie used to give to our relatives, she used to do some rituals before she could give anyone money, even her workers. That was how she used to operate. Just before their payday, the night before, she used to take the money that she was going to give to her workers. Then she would place the money inside a clay pot throughout the night. And on the next day, just before sunrise, she would then take out the money that she was going to pay all of her employees. That is how my auntie taught me. As I was staying with her, I didn't even know that my auntie had other evil intentions. So what my auntie then started doing is that first she fired her gardener, then she employed me as her gardener. After that, she then fired her maid. So now it was only me and my auntie most of the times, because previously when I started staying with my auntie, there used to be that gardener, the maid, my auntie and I. And I had noticed that my auntie was a woman who was not into dating. So I thought that maybe she was just mourning for her late husband, but this was not so, Brother Nashi. Things started getting really strange in the house, because sometimes what would happen is that as we will be watching TV, I will then notice that the way that my auntie will be sitting, it was in a way that was not dignified. When she started doing this, I used to look to the side. In those days, that was when people started pirating movies. So one day she had gone out, then she bought a DVD. When she came back, we were busy just watching the TV. That was when she said that she had bought a movie. She went and she inserted that DVD into the DVD player. My brother, I was really shocked from the sound. I immediately knew that this movie that she was playing, it was a movie that was not nice. I then started seeing that a lot of people that were now appearing on the screen, those people, they were all naked. So she was playing an adult movie for me. I was so ashamed and humiliated that I rushed to this other spare room where I used to sleep. And the room that she had told me that I was supposed to sleep in, that spare room was just close to her bedroom. So my auntie, she had her kids were in boarding boarding school, they would only come during the holidays. So most of the times it was only me and my auntie. Even when her kids were at home, their spare rooms were like down the hallway, and my spare room and the main bedroom, they were just next to each other. So what my auntie will do is that sometimes she would wake me up late in the night and she will say that she had seen a rat or something like that. And when I would rush into her bedroom, I will see that my auntie will just be sleeping there without wearing anything. As a young man who was still experiencing life, the more that I saw my auntie almost half naked, the more that I started getting attracted to her, until one day me and her, we made love. On that night, what she did, she said that she had seen a very big rat in her bedroom. So I went to her bedroom. Then I found out that she was sleeping on the bed and she was not wearing anything. When I walked into her bedroom, she got off from the bed. Then she locked the door. That was how I found myself stuck in her bedroom, and there was nothing that I could do because the temptation for me, it was just too much. That was how me and my auntie got involved in this relationship that is a taboo in our culture. We started sleeping together, and I suspect that my auntie's other friend, she was someone who was into these ritualistic things because she knew about this relationship. That friend of my auntie, she had her own daughter, so they made it to seem as if I was dating my auntie's friend's daughter. That fake girlfriend of mine, she has since left the country. If she ever hears the story, she will know who it is that will be talking. So me and that girl, we used to go out on fake dates so that people won't suspect that I was dating and sleeping with my auntie. After this whole thing had happened, my auntie then fell pregnant for me. She then told me that she had fallen pregnant for me, but she was not going to abort the child. I didn't even know what she meant when she said that she was not going to abort the child. She then kept the pregnancy and pretended as if someone had impregnated her. So she gave birth to a baby boy. Then after 3 years after my son had been born, my son just died under very mysterious circumstances. This was soon after my auntie had started a driving school, and she had done a lot of rituals, and I suspect that my auntie used my son because what we did, my auntie had purchased this other UD truck that was going to be used in that driving school. One day, me and her, we went to the offices where her driving school was. So when we got into the parking area, what my auntie did, it really shocked me. Even though I had seen her doing a lot of charms, when we went there, she had a very small clay pot. She took that small clay pot from the boot of her car. Then she placed it underneath that UD truck. Then she took my son. She forced my son to go underneath that same truck where she had placed that clay pot. Then she instructed our son to sleep, but the way that he was supposed to lay on the ground, he was supposed to lay with his back on the ground facing upwards. Then I started to see that there was smoke that was coming from underneath the truck, but it was not a lot of smoke, but one could see that there was something that was going on underneath that truck. After that, she then pulled that very small clay pot from underneath the truck. Then she said that I had to drag my son from underneath the truck, but I saw that the boy was no longer conscious. From there on, that was when my son started getting very ill. In a short period of time, he grew so thin, Brother Nashi. When we took him to the hospital, that was when the doctors said that my son had leukemia, and unfortunately, he passed away. If I had the chance, I would ask my auntie if any of the charms that she left for me were the ones that were responsible with the death of my son, because that boy, I was so much in love with him, and there was a great bond that was there between me and my son. Before my auntie had passed away, she had told me that she was going to perform a ritual for me. This ritual that she was going to perform for me, it was going to be the one that would assist me when I would want to get married, because she had said that as long as she will be alive, even if I were to sleep with a virgin girl, because she had said that as long as she was alive, I will never be able to conceive or to impregnate another woman. But she had promised me that she was going to give me some herbs, and those herbs were the ones that were going to assist me by the time that I would want to get married. But unfortunately, my auntie, she died, and she died without any notice. One day she had traveled on a business trip, then along the way the car that she was driving in hit a donkey. Then she had a crash. The car that she was driving in overturned, and my auntie died on the spot. That was how she passed away. But when she passed away, she had already made it known to her lawyers that her Borodale apartment was going to be left in my name. After her death, her children moved out of the country. My brother, I am the one who is responsible for collecting the rentals and everything, but there is a lot of chums that were left for me. So when I heard you saying that if in your family people die in a particular month, people should come to you so that they can give you their own confession. So in my family, a lot of people die in a particular month, and I do not want to mention that month for my own reasons. But this thing that happens in our family, after 3 or 4 years, people have to die. Any of my blood relatives, they have to die. And this thing, it happens over and over again. Unless if I sacrifice a cow, then my relatives will be spared. What I do is that when someone whom I love the most amongst my relative is the one who is supposed to die, I will go and I will sacrifice a cow, just like my auntie taught me to do. After I have performed that ritual, then death will pass over our family, and it will come back the following season when it will demand blood again. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brothers who is in Zim. Strange things do happen in this world. So on another platform, what I had said is that if you have noticed that in your family, people only die in a particular month or maybe after 2 or 3 years, please do come to my inbox and share with us your own family story, so that this thing, it can assist other people out there. Let us meet again in the following episode.